we're actually playing a lot with time this season.
Okay.
So the point of that little teaser that you saw was to tease you and to get you asking questions like that. So I won't spoil it by saying exactly how we catch up, but I will say that you're gonna think you know what's happening in the first few seconds of the show, and then realize, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on. So all I will say is by the end of the first episode, it'll all make sense. But this is the first season we're actually like really messing with time a little. It's not, yeah, we're not doing another like prison world stuck in time thing, but we had so much. The show's kind of trademark thing that the show's so good at is like going back to flashbacks and really embracing like period pieces, like those kind of stories. And so we thought, what is like a fun way to engage the audience is to maybe like tease little glimpses into the future. And so as you're sort of seeing stories pops that happen in the future, you're starting to figure out, how did that happen? What's going on? And then as you watch the present day story, they'll start to put together, oh, okay, that's how this is all. That was, you'll see when you watch. So far, no. We have one flashback coming up in episode 3 that goes back to 1863. If you recall, that's when the boys were still human. So that's always fun to do because it gives the actors a chance to remember who, kind of where they came from season 1. When we wrote episode 22, the finale last year, we were like, let's make sure that when Elena leaves her friends, that she sort of empowers them to move on kind of quickly, because what we didn't want to do as storytellers, and I'm sure nobody kind of wants to see, is like the actual grief period of losing somebody, because it's not like she died. So we try to kind of instill that in like the joy that she had when she was saying goodbye to everyone, that she kind of was like, look, this is the best case scenario for what's happening. So, that being said, obviously the characters will miss her, and she's still part of the narrative of the show. But, because she is still, there's a casket sitting there in Mystic Falls, so she is still in everyone's mind, but obviously the person grieving the most and actually like going through a grieving process is Damon. So, we decided, what's Damon's story this year? If it can't be about Elena and him, can it be about who is Damon Salvatore without Elena? Because we only know him as fans of the show as somebody who's in love with Catherine and he's in love with Elena. And I've even said to Ian, I'm like, what does Damon do in his spare time? What does he do when the camera's not on him, so to speak? And so that's what I'm interested in finding out and learning more about in this season, is just him who's not pining after her. Yeah, we added that in the finale last year where she says to Caroline and Bonnie, write it down. And so the characters are writing it down. So it's a way for them to talk to her and feel like she's still engaged in their lives. It's, it's just a fun motif that we're keeping alive. We're probably writing in the Diaries more than we even wrote in the Diaries season 1. You just want spoilers.
I just
want the plot of the story.
I want to know the plot.
So on page 1, we open up, and it's like this garage door, and it swings open, and then the silhouette walks in. Yeah. So what's happening is the big kind of cliffhanger thing that we did leave off with in the season was that Lily was being reunited with her family, these heretics. That means they're witches and vampires. So it's like pi times 6. And so we're just kind of now waiting, like, okay, how are they going to fit into society? Because these are old school, they've been locked in a place. It's like Pi was 1994. He can kind of transition back into the real world. These people are from 1903. They're super badass. They don't live by societal norms. So we're going to introduce them one by one to the audience as a family unit. So there are 3 badass girls, Valerie, Nora, and Mary Louise. And there's 3 guys, Bo, Malcolm, and Oscar. And we get to meet them. It's the first time we've ever introduced, we will see 5 of them in the premiere, but it's the first time we've ever introduced like 5 new characters all in one scene. So it'll be kind of, interesting to see like how they function in today's society under Lily's tight reins. I think that we will. We've talked a lot in the room, and because she's kind of like the main villain, she's kind of sort of the head of this family. We are going to get to know a lot more about her, what makes her tick, you know, does she have a love interest, what's more important to her, you know, which family, these heretics or her real, you know, sons, Damon and Stefan. So she's one of the most complex characters of the season for sure, because she's in charge of this like incredibly volatile family, and all she really wants is her sons, Damon and Stefan, to love her adopted family and just all live in peace, but you know that's never going to happen. I think we'll manage to stay pretty close to the originals, yeah. Yeah, we don't have a lot of people ask about crossovers, and I badly want to do crossovers. I got a million ideas. It's very hard to, I don't know if we actually will this season, but it's hard. It's just very hard to coordinate that. It's without boring you guys to death, the logistics of it, but I would love to. So if we don't do it, don't blame me. Yeah, I think, you know, it's something that we're trying to see how it plays out. We really want to honor, even though Nina's gone and the Elena character can't really exist in the show in person, it would be like throwing away 6 seasons of like real story if we just gave him a new love interest. So, I mean, right away, because we all know he loves her. So it's something that really has to be earned, and it would be a really long, drawn-out process. So probably one day, because I mean, we want to see Damon happy, you know? So I'm not sure how that will work out, but for the time being, no.